Hey guys, I want to introduce another idea I had for you with appraisals. I just talked about it in a previous video, but I want to talk to you about when appraisals come in low or when they come in high, and what you can do to handle either situation. So let's talk about that real quick. With appraisals, I've already told you how important this is. Appraisals are like, what am I doing here? Appraisal. Apparently I can't write and think at the same time, sorry. I probably spelled it wrong anyway, I don't care. Here's the thing, with appraisals, they either come in low, they come in high, or they come in at value. More times than not, unfortunately, they come in low. So, number two, there's two things that you could do. And I just want to highlight them really quickly. With appraisals coming in low, here's the two things that you could do. Number one, is you could always, a lot of people don't know this, appraisal comes in low, you have an opportunity to do basically a rebuttal. Let's call it a reconsideration request. That's what I believe they call it. Consideration, I really can't spell, request. So, we have a reconsideration request. So that's basically, in other words, saying, hey, would you reconsider the appraisal based on some information? Now, when we talk about that, you have to supply information, right? So, okay, great, you did a crappy job at what you do, but here's the reason why. You have to have information to support that. So you always tell them, here's the reasons why. I'm looking at these comps. It looks like you were looking at comps that were maybe in a different market. They're next to the railroad tracks. Mine's not. Maybe that's a house that had sold much farther back in time. There's a lot of things, reason why you should be looking at your appraisal line by line, number by number, really getting familiar with that, because you can always ask for a reconsideration request. A lot of times this is free, but here's the one thing I want to identify. When you ask for a reconsideration request, you're basically telling the appraiser, hey buddy, you don't know what you're doing. I'm telling you that you don't know what you're doing. I want you to do it again. And oh, by the way, I'm not paying you for it. So you need to do your job a second time. You did it wrong and I'm not going to pay you for it. So largely, you're not going to see, in many cases, you're not going to see a big change here. If there is a change, it's going to go slightly up. We're not talking about 40, 50 grand. It's usually 5 or 10, maybe 15 grand. So that's number one. Number two, really, order another appraisal. And let's put it this way. If this guy is so far off on number one, it may be worth it. Just know that this could cost you more money. Here's one other thing I would suggest. Well, I won't get into that in a second. Well, these are two options if they're low. I'll get into the suggestion I have in a later video. Number two, if it comes in high or at value, here's what I would do. Market the crap out of it. Here's the reason why. Crap of it, right? So you got to get approved for the loan because it came in high. You go ahead and do the deal. The very first thing that you do prior to closing this, like 2 weeks prior to closing, is you do a soft. You're not quite listed on MLS yet, right? Because as soon as you list on MLS, you're going to start your count of days on market, and you don't want that days to go up quickly. So prior to closing, or prior to being done with the deal and listing, you're going to market the crap out of it, saying for sale by owner, not quite available for, are accepting offers, not on the market yet. Here's your opportunity to get the pocket listing you've always been looking for, or the off-market opportunity. Oh, and by the way, number one, in the very first line of the description, it says, first sale at, 10 grand below value. As a matter of fact, I would say 10 grand below appraised value. So now you've already given this idea that they're already getting an option to buy a property that's not on market. They're getting an option with built-in equity. They're getting an opportunity to get something exclusive. There's a lot of reasons why that if you get an appraisal back and it's high, you could market the crap out of this. You could say all kinds of things, right? So that's the one thing I would say is if you are getting it in high, make sure you utilize that in your opportunity with marketing, whether that's on your marketing that's going out at open houses, whether that's marketing that's going out on the MLS, wherever that may be. This is what I really want you to highlight on, because of course this is the better of the two scenarios. But I also wanted to let you guys know that this is always an option as well. A lot of people don't know about that, and a lot of times that's free. And you know, getting an extra 15, 20 grand on an after repair value or an as-is value, depending on the appraisal you're getting, that could make the difference between you having to show up to the table with some more cash because the loan had been handicapped, because your ARV came down, the loan amount came down, that means more money out of pocket, or if it came down so low, the lender's simply saying, I'm not going to do the loan. But if you could get that bump by 15, 20 grand and it costs you nothing but supplying a little bit of information, all of a sudden you're back at a level that they're willing to write the loan, you do the deal, you move on. Anyway, wanted to share that with you. Have a good one.